For months, 10-year-old Sophie Hart followed the same routine every single day. The moment she stepped through the front door after school, she dropped her backpack by the entrance and hurried straight to the bathroom. At first, her mother, Emily Hart, thought nothing of it. Children were strange sometimes. Maybe Sophie disliked feeling sweaty after recess. Maybe she simply enjoyed taking baths. But as the weeks passed, the behavior became impossible to ignore. No snack. No television. Sometimes not even a proper greeting. Just a quick bathroom, before the sound of a lock clicking shut echoed through the house. One evening, Emily finally asked, "Sweetheart, why do you always take a bath right away?" Sophie turned and flashed a bright smile. "I just like to be clean." The answer should have reassured her. Instead, it made her uneasy. Sophie had never been obsessed with cleanliness. She was messy, forgetful, and usually bluntly honest. The response sounded rehearsed, as though it had been practiced beforehand. A week later, Emily's unease turned into fear. The bathtub had begun draining slowly, so she decided to clear the clog herself. Wearing rubber gloves, she removed the drain cover and pushed a plastic drain snake deep into the pipe. Almost immediately, it snagged on something. Expecting nothing more than hair, she pulled. A wet mass of dark strands emerged from the drain, tangled around something else. Thin fibers clung to the mess. Emily frowned. Those weren't hairs. Carefully separating the clump beneath running water, she discovered a small piece of fabric trapped inside. It wasn't random lint. It was cloth. As the soap residue washed away, a familiar pattern appeared. Pale blue plaid. The exact pattern of Sophie's school uniform skirt. Emily's pulse quickened. Uniform fabric didn't simply end up inside a drain. Not like this. She turned the material over. The moment she saw the stain, her entire body froze. A faded brown mark clung stubbornly to the fibers. Diluted by water. Partially washed away. But unmistakable. Blood. Her hands began trembling. The bathroom suddenly felt too quiet. Too small. Her mind raced through innocent explanations. A scraped knee. A nosebleed. A torn hem. Yet none of those explanations felt right. Not when Sophie rushed to bathe every single day. Not when she seemed desperate to wash something away. Emily grabbed her phone and immediately called the school. When the secretary answered, she forced herself to remain calm. "Has Sophie been injured recently? Any accidents? Anything unusual happening after school?" A long silence followed. Then the secretary spoke quietly. "Mrs. Hart, can you come in right now?" Emily's stomach dropped. Why? The answer chilled her blood. Because you're not the first parent who's called about a child bathing the moment they get home. An hour later, Emily sat inside the principal's office with the torn piece of fabric sealed inside a sandwich bag. Principal Dana Morris and school counselor Chloe Reyes were waiting. Both looked exhausted. The principal glanced at the bag. "You found something in the drain." Emily nodded. It came from Sophie's uniform. The counselor exchanged a look with the principal before speaking. "We've received reports involving several students," she said carefully. Children who were encouraged to wash immediately after school as part of what was described as a cleanliness program. Emily felt her chest tighten. Encouraged by who? The principal hesitated. A staff member assigned to the after-school pickup area. The room seemed to spin. "You mean an adult has been telling children to bathe?" The counselor leaned forward. "We need to ask a difficult question. Has Sophie ever mentioned a health check? Being told her clothes were dirty? Being asked not to tell her parents?" Emily immediately remembered Sophie's smile. "I just like to be clean." Slowly, she shook her head. "No." The principal opened a folder and slid it across the desk. Inside were statements from other families. Different children. The same story. A man with a staff badge claims that students smelled bad. Private checks. Warnings not to tell parents. Emily felt sick. That's grooming. The counselor nodded grimly. We believe so. Soon afterward, Sophie was brought into the office. She looked small standing in the doorway. Smaller than Emily had ever seen her. The moment she spotted her mother, her eyes dropped to the floor. Emily knelt and gently took her hand. Sweetheart, you're not in trouble. I just need you to tell the truth. Sophie's lip trembled. Then she whispered words that silenced the room. He said if I didn't wash, you would smell it on me. Emily's heart shattered. Sophie, who said that? The little girl's grip tightened. Mr. Keaton. The counselor carefully asked another question. What did he mean by that? Tears filled Sophie's eyes. He touched my skirt, she whispered. He said there was a stain. He took me to the bathroom near the gym. He said it was a check. Her voice cracked. He told me I was dirty. Emily immediately pulled her daughter into her arms. You are not dirty, she said firmly. You did nothing wrong. The investigation moved quickly after that. Detective Marina Shaw arrived at the school and gently interviewed Sophie. The torn fabric was collected as evidence. Security footage was requested. Additional parents came forward, and the stories all matched. The same explanations. The same threats. The same manipulation. Within days, Mr. Keaton was arrested on charges related to inappropriate contact and coercion. The school implemented new supervision policies, stricter reporting procedures, and additional safeguards for students. But for Sophie, healing would take longer. She began therapy, and while some days were better than others, the scars remained. One evening, despite everything, she still headed toward the bathroom as soon as she returned home. Emily stopped her gently. You don't have to wash to be okay, she said. Sophie looked up with tired eyes. Will he come back? Emily held her close. No. This time, she knew it was true. Months later, Sophie drew a picture during therapy. In it, she stood safely behind a large locked door. On the lock, she had written a single word, Mom. Emily kept that drawing on her nightstand as a reminder that danger doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it appears in small changes, repeated routines, and answers that sound rehearsed. Sometimes the truth hides in plain sight, waiting for someone to notice the pattern. To be continued. And now, a question for you. If you noticed a child suddenly changing their behavior every day, whether it was bathing immediately after school, becoming unusually quiet, avoiding certain places, or acting differently around specific adults, would you investigate right away, or would you assume it was just a phase? What subtle change in a child's behavior would make you stop and look closer? Let me know in the comments.